The gap between the very richest and the rest of us is getting bigger. Why? A common belief is that it's good for us all if a small group of people earn an enormous amount of money. The theory is that their wealth trickles down to the rest of us. But this is a myth. In reality, money is sucked up from all of us into the pockets of a very small group of people. How does this happen? One reason is the
It's probably because money is fake.
way that money is created.
Printed out of thin air.
Right now, almost all of the money in our economy is created by banks when they make loans. Now, most people assume that when banks make loans, they're lending out someone else's savings. But they're not.
They're printing it out of thin air. That's how they make their money.
Instead, when somebody takes
They deposit the money, right? They deposit, let's say you deposit $100 in the bank, they can print $1,000.
out a loan, banks create new money electronically by typing numbers into their account. 97%
And you work your entire life when these motherfuckers... Oh, you want 10 grand? Here you go, bitch. Sell me your life.
of
You're a
all the
peasant.
money in our economy is created in
97% of your money is created as loans. It's fake. Fake!
this way, as people take out loans from banks. The more loans people take, the more debt there is, and the more money there is. The shocking fact is, if nobody went into debt, there would be almost no money in the economy. Our economy depends on the electronic money created by banks. But because the money is created when people borrow, someone, somewhere, has to pay interest on every pound created.
We do. They create the fake money, then they loan it out back to us, and it was created out of thin air. The scam is incredible. Like, trust me, this scam is genius. Because instead of having slaves that you whip, you just have slaves that you dangle this fake printed money in front of. You don't teach them about money, obviously, because if they knew about it, they would tell you to fuck off. And you have a working economy. You have a bunch of little peasants.
In effect, we are renting the money we need to run our economy from the banks. This means that in the UK alone, together we pay the banks £192 million in interest every single day.
192 million pounds in interest is being paid. So they create fake money, and then the loans, right? Our hard work is compensated to these motherfuckers that print money out of thin air. And then you have the audacity to come and fucking talk to me that I don't know what I'm talking about. That these people that are entrepreneurs are scammers. Do you not see this? These motherfuckers created something out of thin air. And you're working at a McDonald's, slaving away your life. Slaving away your life.
And because the debt is held mostly by the bottom 90% and wealth mostly by the top 10%, paying this interest transfers money from the bottom 90% of the population to the very top 10%. It sucks wealth and income from the rest of us up to the very lucky few. So as long
Because the real money, that 3% of money that is real, right? The real money gets sent back up.
as we have to rent the money we use from the banks that create it, we'll have to keep paying this huge interest bill, and the gap between the richest and the rest of us will keep increasing.
Well, I think if the people knew what the banking system is up to, as Henry Ford said, there would be a revolution tomorrow morning.
But they don't. They don't know what the banking system is up to because everybody's asleep. Everybody's blind. And the moment you wake up and you start realizing this, you're like, oh shit, I have to do what the 99% are not doing. I need to operate differently.
The fact is most people think that what a bank does is lend you money that someone else has put in the bank previously. But what a bank actually does, what a commercial bank does, is to create money from nothing and then lend it to you at interest.
That's what the Federal Reserve does. That's what the Federal Reserve did. Do you understand that the Federal Reserve owns the US dollar? So that when the US passes all these bills, these packages, these relief bills, that is all loan money. Every single dollar that is printed is a loan. And guess who picks up the fucking tab for the interest that you have no idea what that interest is? The US taxpayer. With your hard-earned dollar, they overspend, they underperform, they overpromise, they underdeliver, and then you're left holding the fucking bag while these motherfuckers get rich on your sweat.
If I do that, if I manufacture money in my
You go to
own
prison.
home, it's called counterfeiting.
Yeah, of course.
If an accountant creates money out of nothing in the company accounts, it's
a
called
scam.
cooking the books. But if a bank does it, it's perfectly legal. And so long as you allow fraud to be legalized.
Allow. That is the name of the word. You're allowing it. Your ignorance allows it. Guys, I'm teaching you the fucking game. Do you understand that there's nobody talking about this shit? It's like it's just a handful of us. The real motherfuckers, the guys that are worth billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, they ain't gonna be in here telling you the name of the game. They gotta keep you a brokey, bro. They gotta keep you a pleb. They gotta keep you a pleb.
Then all kinds of problems are going to pop up in the economic system, which you can't do anything about.
Private banks create money out of nothing and lend it at interest. Now, that sounds absurd.
Because it is
I
absurd.
teach sophomores, about money and banking and how banks, they never believe it. And so you have to go through it again and again. Yes, banks really do create money. They really do. Here's how it happens. And it's absurd, and they're right to doubt that could possibly be what's...
It's so unfucking believable that the banks are scamming us. They're printing money out of thin air. It's so unbelievable to believe that they pulled off this scam, that people cannot believe it.
really going on.
It's
But
crazy.
it is.
Now, if the banking lobby is very strong, they're going to say, well, we don't want to change this system. We're making so much money out of it. What we have to do is, A, try and convince the people that it's their fault, that their wage claims are too high, and that's why we're having lots of inflation, or people are speculating on housing, and that's why house prices are going up. What they're not going to say is that this is happening because banks are creating money out of nothing and pumping it into the system, and that's why prices are going up.
Have you seen, did you not see what happened over the last 2 fucking years? I'll explain to you exactly I'm going to explain to you guys what happened over the last 2 years. They created a fake pandemic to have a reason, to flood the entire system with fake money. They had already bought their positions in the marketplace, but they needed to exit those positions, right? Because they need to reset the system. So what do? They give all the fucking normies their $1,800 stimulus checks. And what do they say? Well, you know what? We need to take care of you. We need to pump some more money into the economy. So we print tens of trillions of dollars. We get into massive debt with the IMF. We get into the massive debt with the Federal Reserve. And then what happens? All the rich dudes, that money gets pumped into the market. All of their shares, the value of their shares goes up. They fucking sell, right? They fucking sell the very top, because of course they sell the top. Do you think they don't fucking know? They're the ones that create the bottoms. They're the ones that create the top. And then you're left what? Holding the fucking worthless ass bags because you don't understand how the game is played. That's that. And guess what happens? It goes from taxpayer money and lent money to cashed out and funneled to private industry and into the pocket of rich people. That's where rich people get richer and poor people get poorer. Most motherfuckers over the last 2 years that know how to make money, they got richer. My net worth multiplied by 40x over the last 2 years, 18 months. 40x. That's how much my net worth increased. Most poor people were even more poor than they were 2 years ago. That's how the system works.
But how is it that
W in
we've
the
ended
chat if
up
you're
with
learning.
a system in which banks have the But how is it that we've ended up with a system in which banks have the power to create money?
1971, we created we took the dollar off of the gold standard. In 1971,
Is it that we've ended up
let's watch
The
this.
system, and that's why prices are going up.
But how is it that we've ended up with a system in which banks have the power to create money?
1931, we passed the Federal Reserve Act where we gave our money away to the banks. Their ability to print money, it was given to the banks, right? It wasn't a right that belonged to the people. Then, we took gold, the gold standard, and ripped it apart from money. So money was no longer valued based off of gold.